And as you were talking about, you were saved at 12, but really didn't become a strong Christian till later in your life. I remember going to Sunday school when I was younger, and I had the pastor's daughter in my Sunday school class. So I never felt like I was good enough. I never felt like I knew enough about the Bible. I kind of felt like, what am I doing here? I felt very out of place. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You can be totally disheveled. You can be an addict. You can have the wheels falling off, and God loves you just where you are right now and just the way you are. And later in life is when I really started to feel Jesus. And it was like this aha moment, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be okay. Right. And it's a message that I love that you're sharing with so many women. So tell us more about that and what your purpose is, what your passion, where the passion came from, and how it's going.
Well, I walked through the dark night of the soul. I mean, I really had 3 or 4 years there when my son was sick and my sister had a kidney transplant and my best friend passed away in my arms. And, we had some other family issues that were really devastating. And and then of course, COVID, sprinkle a little COVID over all of that, and it's kind of a recipe for disaster. And I just honestly was at a low point. You talk about rock bottom. Yeah, my bottom had a basement, honey. Like I was so rock bottom that I literally would just walk around my house like a zombie. I didn't even feel alive. I felt like I was the Walking Dead. And so I really realized, okay, I broke it down real fast. I was like, obviously I need God. Obviously I need my husband. But, that was another thing that was going on. Billy had moved out for like 6 months because we had just this titanic fight that was like the 30-year fight waiting to happen. And it was a blowout. And I was like, goodbye, that's it, I'm done. So for 6 months, I mean, I was really on the divorce, trail. Like I was blazing that trail hard. And I really thought we were over. And so it was really the darkest you could get. And I realized, okay, I need God. I do need my husband. I realized he was my true north and my compass, and that I really needed to have him back in my life. And biblically, like I knew that, a house divided cannot stand. So I knew we needed to fix things and do it for real, in a real, just with integrity. We just really needed to take it very seriously, which we did. And then the third thing was that I needed women in my life. I needed to have those women in my life that I knew I could trust. And I didn't have that in place. I had friends, but I didn't have what I really wanted. And I said, Lord, you know what I want and what I need. I need like 24-hour, revolving door of women that I can count on and a relationship with you and like a Jesus hotline. That's basically what I need. I need a Jesus hotline. I need to get Jesus on the phone at any time. Let's go. This has to happen. And he was like, well, what would it look like? Put it down on paper. So I put down sort of my ultimate dream format of what a woman's network would look like. And he said, that's great. Build it. And I was like, okay. And so I just went about little by little building California Healin. And so now we're a group of about 89 ladies. We're going strong. There are 5 groups under the umbrella of California Healin. It is a 100% online, except for our yearly retreats, which we see each other in person. But other than that, it is 100% online. And we have meetings every single week. There's groups of 25 ladies in each group. And there is cross-pollination between the ladies and other groups, but for the most part, you're in like your 25 lady group. And we read the word together for 30 minutes every single morning, 15 minutes in the Old Testament, 15 minutes in the New, and then we do a half hour of reflection. It's totally it's not mandatory. Like if you want to participate in these extracurricular, I can never say that word, events, you can, or you can just do your 1 hour Zoom, you know, your hour and a half Zoom once a week. But long story short, I built it. It's taking off. These ladies are loving the experience of, because it's one thing to be in a Bible study for an hour or two once a week and go to church for an hour and then fellowship after. And it's another thing to have this extra augmented support of being able to call somebody at any moment and say, hey, will you read the word with me right now? Or, hey, I'm feeling something, but I'm not quite sure what it is. And I don't even know how to articulate it, but will you just sit with me for a second and just be on the other line? And, you know, there could be silence. You could ask for prayer. You could ask for the person to say, hey, would you just, you know, sort of flesh this out with me a little bit? And I'm telling you, it has been so explosive for so many women, because they all say to me, this is what I was missing. This was the missing piece. I needed this type of network, this type of community, this type of fellowship where you get to know somebody, not just on a surface level, but you actually get to know the person as a friend and as a confidant and as a prayer warrior friend. So it's really a very special, it is subscription based, but that's only because I'm not getting rich off of this. It's only because I have facilitators and I have, you know, employees that I need to pay on a monthly basis. And I would never be able to keep this running all on my own. So that's why it's subscription based. Yeah. But if you're interested in learning more about it, go to californiahealin.com, and it's Healin, not healing. It's HEALIN.
Right. And I was a guest. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a guest. It was amazing. And just the openness in any sort of, well, I shouldn't say any Bible study, because there, you know, there can be ones that are not this way, but that ability to just be yourself and be an open book and be raw is rare now. I mean, we feel like we're not enough because of the way the world is set up, because of social media, because of the competition, and everyone's trying to push everybody down. That camaraderie, that feeling of just safety. And I love the word safe. You're safe, right? And I always say, like, if you're feeling anxious, just imagine God just wrapping his arms around you and in a safe blanket. Well, this is an extension of that. This group of women that you feel safe with, that you can pray with, that you can ask for prayers, that you can show up in your bathrobe and say, I've had a really bad day and I need help. And that is rare.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we do something called the Jesus Journey too in every single meeting, which is basically everyone shares their testimony. And what's cool about it is, since there's only 25 ladies in each group, we just rotate. So we go down the 25, everyone does their testimony, and then we start from the top again. And what's neat about that is that it really shows you that you don't have just one testimony. You know, you don't have just one testimony. You know, there's so many different layers, especially when you get to our age. There's so many different chapters and layers to your life where you're able to sort of tell a different story, whether it's about your mom, or whether it's about your relationship with your sister, or whether it's about your job, or whether it's whatever. You know, there's just so many things to talk about and so many different ways. Every time somebody does a Jesus journey, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know them better now. I understand them better now. I have so much more reference and context.